At least that's what she said. But Zed already lands one on the next guy's face, telling him again to come in with everything. And obviously, at that point, he was having fun. The guy fought his whole life. So if there's one thing he likes, it's having his life on the line. There's nothing better than dodging an attack that could have killed you. That adrenaline is what got him so addicted, both to that game and to martial arts. He hits one more in the chin, another in the back of the neck, while going crazy bro. Clearly not right in the head, obviously. Until someone steps on his back and calls out for the damn Zed Arahan. Imagine Boo grabs the cracked out albino kid Boo and tells him that if he doesn't stop, his friend's going to die. Obviously, yeah, Ryu had been captured, but our boy just smiles and says they made a huge mistake. Ryu was trying to break free, fighting, and everything. And the cracked kid Boo says the kid's going to die to a two-circle knife, so it's not that shameful. He jumps into attack, but obviously Zed dodges it with ease. The guy looks like he doesn't even know what just happened, saying Zed disappeared. And when he looks to the side, there they are, already chatting calmly. Kid Boo wants to know what just happened, what kind of magic he used. Our guy says, was it magic though? A move in her skin starts to approach, looks like a ballerina, but lands a perfect hit to the neck. The poor guy got dragged across the floor. But right then, Clark shows up calling for number 218, saying he's going to have to explain himself. But someone speaks up and says 218 was the victim. It's Ryu, who explains that he had been taken hostage, and it was Zed who saved him. Clark looks at the pile of guys knocked out on the floor. He seems pissed that these guys only ever get beat up. He then says he wants to ask Zed something. He wants to know if, somehow, he's been using mana. Kind of uninterested, Zed says. Maybe. But then Clark activates his aura. The prisoners on the ground get up just to say they can't breathe, while Ryu, who is still standing, drops to the floor. Now that makes sense. But through all that bro, our guy is just standing there, untouched inside a mana barrier. It was one of the S-rank traits, resistance to suppression. He finally figured it out. It's a mental immunity ability. The guy is so full of himself, he says it all makes sense. He reached the pinnacle of Earth, winning 27 fights in a row at the top of the world. There's no way some mediocre person from a world like this would ever scare him. Clark, however, didn't like seeing the kid still standing. He's losing his mind. He wants to know how the hell a bastard with no mana is still resisting this. The guy even pulls more of the aura and starts pushing harder. Any more and he'd probably crap his pants for sure. But S-rank suppression resistance is absolute ban. And with his hand on his waist, he's totally chilling. Clark's expression changes. He can't even understand how this is possible. The rest of the guards are begging him to stop, saying at this rate, everyone there is going to die. Suddenly, Clark deactivates his aura. Staring at Zed, he says it's best he try to calm down. Otherwise, at any moment, he's going to cut his throat. He gives the boy one last stare and turns away, telling everyone to get back to work. But man, Zed tells him to wait a second and says he's got something to say. He says he's tired of doing that idiotic rock stacking thing, and he's more than fed up with this bunch of prisoners attacking him. And that's why he's planning to end it all. Ryu asks what this lunatic is talking about, to which Zed replies he wants to join the death row of Bro. Clark questions whether he has any idea what he's saying. It's not something he can just change his mind about later. But our boy says Clark can even report it in a crystal ball if he wants. He's not backing down. Clark says perfect then and tells someone to bring a registration item. Right away, Zed says that now that he's on death row, he wants to request his last meal. He wants a Birdie steak. A big enough portion to fill his belly. Looks like that's something really expensive, because the guards' faces say it all Bro. They say it's madness. Obviously, that top-quality steak is prepared only in the Southern Empire. In the game, it was one of the rarest foods you could consume, delicious enough to restore even strength lost to age. Some people even ate it in the middle of battle and thought themselves had been a fight man. Our boy, though, seems to be planning to stockpile it. I don't get it. Let's see what he's up to. He tells Clark that considering the family he's from as a cost of his life, it's a fair request. Besides, he warns that he knows what the real thing is like. So if they try to trick him, the whole deal will be voided. Rubel wants to know why the hell this lunatic is trying to die. Then Zed says he's forgotten about his friend. The two of them are on death row now. The staff hesitates, but Clark interrupts and says to follow orders, since the life of Arahan is important. Our girl thanks them, while obviously he was freaking out, wanting to know why he's reacting to this. Next scene, we in the steak. Apparently just finding that steak takes over a beat. Our boy is using the time to sense. He's going to die anyway, so why bother exercising? Zed then reveals the special system. 100 is the max number for any attribute, and all remaining experience gets almost to dead. And since he has 100 in every other attribute, obviously, all experience
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you, Cheese Man? Cheese God?
But turns out those damn organized
I'm good for the most part.
guys who shoot the
Still got lucky.
guy Russia's got zero chance. The guard shot at Zed's stop, but Zed just rushes forward, scaring Ryu. The first guy in the way looks like he's got 6 kids Zed's age. He runs past, dodging easily, but plants a hand right in the
How are you, Cheese God? Cheese God. I'm good for the most part.
before the second one could react, bam, hit straight to the jungle. That keeps moving it to the right, and now the rest will be speed. He gets the first guy, but the one foot runner won't focus on that
Mhm.
attack.
Yeah, I feel that. It's definitely been hot.
Another fool went face first into the dirt, and 2 more full swords. Look at the second's face pop. He enjoyed himself like always. I don't even know what he did, but he landed a kick on one guy that knocked him into the other. Meanwhile, Ryu came to the movie and sleep. Sometime later, I was eating the clone's face now, totally dumbfounded. Realized I was asleep for the rest possible time. The guys are all back on the ground. Unfortunately, number 218 had escaped. Obviously, he used the order immediately to step out. But the scene shifts now. The hotel village near the detention center. Ryu was looking around checking the house. Obviously, he and our boys stand out a lot for his origin. At least when we made the whole area, we start showing the dead around the spot. First thing they needed to do was blend the back. So they get up a beggar, stash the steel with clothes. Okay, that was the best way. Ryu took a look I'll be right back. 1 or 2 hours later,
I bet. It's been really hot lately. Yeah, it's been super hot. And I was not expecting the summer to be that hot, but it has.
and their enemies, obviously, with arrowheads. Just like they hate each other, these icons get go around flashing with political
Definitely has been that.
very kind of like the beginning. Only now is reality serving. Other the manager said that at least like this also, it seemed like the guy kept calling him a side character, which didn't make any sense. He still needs help, so he keep moving his way around. But he needs to be careful. Thanks, man. Our boys told me. Don't just get He was 40 years old.
Sorry I haven't been live lately. I've been going through a little bit something. I haven't been feeling like playing the game, to be honest. It's been just chilling, you know. It's been chilling. But I'm about to be going live again soon, like every day. I'm just trying to figure out other things I can play pretty much. I appreciate you understanding.
actually think this. But then he never sees his friend to disappear. Everyone in the audience is panicking and running. The look is standing there for the it's Mikasa who's dead. All the email is standing there. Listen to Law and Order. Asking the rep he got paid to execute. Eugene really didn't Zed's wish, asking for some kind of noble and keeping the death wish. But man, Zed says absolutely not. They should be able to tell just by looking. This switch is hit. Then the crowd gets mad, telling Eugene to go back to interrupting the fight. Zed says that's fine then. I'll take responsibility to fight that. Obviously, Reed doesn't think it's a good idea, so it's going off and a million things to do. But Zed tells him to call agree with us. But Zed that meat they ate was way too good. The other guy says he admires
I keep getting fucking lucky. Keep fucking
but
getting
then
lucky.
something catches his attention. The kid stands with active. He seems steady.
Why you dancing for? You did not do nothing.
Clearly,
I had it low.
anyone else he'd ever seen in that ring. Suddenly, Yujiro, who's shaking, telling himself it's impossible he's this scared of a kid. He decides to rush in, saying none of this makes sense. But he's immediately met with a cannon punch to the cheek. And boom, the nose faucet turns on. And Zed even plays the coach, telling the guy, you never start a fight throwing a punch behind the shoulder. You already start throwing a combo.
But yeah, I'm about to be on PC hopefully soon. I'm just working out the kinks right now on that. Yeah. So on.
Poor Yujiro eating a full face of machine guns.
So on and so on, you know.
Yujiro's face is getting all swollen, and he has his eyes shut. See the poor fool already kneeling with him. Meanwhile, the guys are over there, also smiling.
Those PC parts are not cheap. Hey.
Did he not see Zed beat down a prison crew? Poor Yujiro, man, he's trying to open his eyes. Can't believe stuff. Kids like this, like put on that. He tried one last time. But Zed died and believed Cruz would beat down again.
You still there, Cheese Guy?
Obviously, the smug one said the fight wasn't good enough for a woman. Sometime later, with the guy it appears there were 60 people betting against him. He followed the examples.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed, you can.
And we can already see the storyteller's talent. Huh. Little red dress. Only problem is, she's got built face. Like no way she's gonna be a friend to our boy. She's
Yes, indeed, that too.
She walks up saying she wants to have a little chat, but he just asks, warning, man in the world was doing honor. This one only got filler done. Look at the size of that woman. She says that for him not to know who she is. This must be his
I don't get why it's so expensive. I mean, I get some of the parts why some of the parts are expensive, but like all the pieces should not be expensive. But that's what it is.
Two gigantic guys, bro, already blocked the only he looks 90 degrees up.
But yeah, you could definitely do more stuff on PC, like mods and stuff like that. Like mod the game and stuff, mod games and stuff.
He needs to understand
Gotta figure out how to do that. But yeah, you can mod games on PC and stuff like that. As long as you're good at doing stuff like that and don't fuck your PC up doing it in the process. But yeah.
You have to understand, she runs that whole place. Our boy knows that it seems like a whole box of people.
Yo, what is up?
Maybe she probably tried to get close to him again some kind of shit. First time they could see him.
I don't know why I turned this on. Why did I turn this on?
A million calls started coming. Offering contracts and endless options. Back then, he was a bit more naive and got scammed several times. But by sheer luck,
Should turn Red Dead on. That's what I should have did.
A champion. Obviously, All of that taught him very clearly what it takes to reach the top. Since he called her an old fox with a wisdom, soon they'd find out who's being wiser. The fancy meet the order is served. Ryu already wants to dig in, but our boy tells him to wait. Clearly, they were being scammed. This was far from the quality they ordered. This wasn't that ultra rare steak. Otherwise, they wouldn't be even serving it to everyone in the bar. Ryu said, whatever, I'm hungry. Once the steak hits your
Shit. Yeah, for real. Right about that. You're so right about that.
Dodges another
Fuck.
throws the guy on his back. The fat boss is celebrating first. He's already starting to see the situation. The whole filled with something broken. And Zed is standing in the middle of them all. Like this is the kid who took down Walmart and Jero. And apparently,
Why did I?
heard a similar story.
Why did I just kill me? He had me.
Boys approach.
Like, that was dumb.
First, they'll give back the money you paid.
You seen that cheese god, right? That was dumb, right?
Backpack's clear for saying that the bunch of good
I don't know why he didn't just kill me. He had me. Like,
celebrating and saying he's never slept in a place this soft. He then turns over and praises our boy, saying he really is amazing, and expected a noble power. That says he negotiates with power right tomorrow. And with that, another nightfall. As always, man leaves there with that peculiar look on his face in the middle of the night, out of nowhere.
that was dumb.
He asks if he's there. Our boy doesn't answer. So Ryu gets up and leaves. But obviously, he's right there. And he's awake the whole time and saw the whole thing. A few days pass. Ryu walks into the woods and starts. He wants to know what time they're going out to eat. That is always been training all day. Ryu asks how it's possible for him not to take even a single break. The protagonist stands up and takes a look at his stats. He says, unfortunately, he's not going up anymore. No matter how much he trains or checks, Mana is still stuck at 0. Maybe it's because he's going to nothing.
Yeah, I felt like we was playing tag of war for a minute there.
He turns to Ryu. It's time for them to go get a steak for breakfast.
Pretty much gave me that kill.
He replies they're almost out. But and then he economy very well. This is what we think. Not the kind of thing you burn.
Like, that was dumb. Hey, I don't get it.
Now Zed.
And I would have took the L too, but he was just going around in circles. I was like, okay, I'll play that game. I'll play it. I don't mind playing it.
This time, you got a plan. Tell the guy to make sure everything as soon as their boy shows up. The leader says he hopes our base with the home. Obviously, Zed already finds this weird. He wants to know why they're being so friendly out of nowhere. The moment they walked in, he looked around. He didn't stop to listen. The same as always. He left in the spot, Ring wrapped the beard into the lettuce, told him to take a fight. Our boy grabbed his hand and said, all right, eat. Keep an eye on people around them. But obviously, he sees the fight. He should tell Ring to get him out immediately. Wanting to know what kind of thing.
Bruh.
That says he learns small. Not going to show it. He opens up his status.
No trash, yeah, the banner.
Obviously, absolutely resistance happens to him. But the problem is that after eating a lot, he eventually died. Ryu wants to know.
Probably so. I don't know.
Like they didn't notice anything. So why can't they eat it? Zed just says it's because he's an Aryan, just to change the subject, which makes Ryu mad. He says, looks like that. This snob really is unbelievable. That's when the
I have no clue. Probably so.
time to make these guys pay for trying something like that. Sometime later, the boss shows up, really pissed. Walking to the kids wrong. Zed is sitting at the back of the table.
I just know that was dumb. The dumbest thing I could have ever seen.
So they ate it all, and their poison should kick in any second. But then he says he's not here to answer anything. He's not going to talk to people who just want to extort money. Zed said that, as he can see, the boss is completely misunderstanding the situation. He tells Ryu to give their friend a bit of meat so they can talk over a meal. Obviously, Ryu hands over that meat bowl has probably been in his hand for like 40 minutes. The fact that is just standing there, right? You know, why are they our boy says it's a piece. The guy accepts eating it, doesn't accept any conditions. The boss says he has no intention of making peace with the kid. Zen wants to know if maybe the guy just really loves giving him the money, or if there's another reason he doesn't want to eat that. Let's say, to walk out of his ego. He kicks the table. All the meat that you're supposed to eat hits the floor. Zed says you've been going easy, but Trash Like Him really does enjoy suffering from it. Even so, the fact that it's not good at all saying there's no poison, and if they show any proof, our boy goes for his eye and removes the contact lens, saying that is all the proof he needs. On seeing the red eye, the guy knows immediately he's an arrowhead. He falls on his butt, totally scared, feeling he's going to die. In just a second, he's already on his knees begging the guy's sobbing, desperate, wanting to know why a kid, fancy like that, is wandering around pretending to be a victim. That moment, man, Zed realized Eric had that's the first he has to handle all this money.
Oh man, I'm about to change over this. What's the name? Fuck this. No, I don't know what's going on right now.
Before the kid changes his mind, that puts the and rephrase it. Saying that the kid really scared the guy. He didn't even have the guts to say anything. But Zed already warns that this will be their last night in the city.
It's kind of getting annoying though.
Russian all about. She wants to negotiate. And she'll negotiate. In other words, our board will help her. She said it first. Her thanks him since her request to go to the real simple. All she wants is him to fight Walter Boucher over one time. Reed said it was literally trapped. But right then, said already accepted, bro. Lip filler face is already ready. Saying that the word is hold up ready. Sometimes
why are you running?
Reed said holding the phone pouch. Then asks why he's making that face, which is really so, since she knows the city and everyone who passes through it, she thinks she should but yeah, he should hold Zed for him. That's fine. Besides, we can need to use a little shocking. But Zed says, if he doesn't feel too bad, we'll just figure out what he can. Ree wants to know why he didn't say it. You're not going to say because that's fair. I'll believe it if you but he does say he doesn't want to try and then how long to do better. No matter when you born. So, what can you mean by that? You say everyone is full of garbage. You bastard, come to yourself, exactly. But Ryu's already teary-eyed, apologizing, swearing he'll never do it again. Even still, the fans are warning us to fight. They could just take the money and that. How's he going to get info about his brother? You say at one point it's taken. Just thinks about it. He's not yeah. He knew it was a bad offer. His chance to go, but he had no choice. Meanwhile, he had hurt. I take advantage of desperate taking. And yeah, he thinks he's one of the two.
Damn, what the fuck? God damn, son.
Nothing better than cleaning up trash.
Okay, come on, fuck, tell me, bruh. Like that. Don't do that, nigga. The fuck?
Meanwhile, back at the present, man, I almost forgot about the guy.
That was crazy. What the heck? Ah. Okay, this game is pissing me off. This game is pissing me the fuck off. We'll run one more, and then I'm changing games. I'm changing to probably what's the name?
The look on everyone's face in the stands changes, and Ryu says things just got serious. Strangely enough, the guy had taken on the exact same stance instead. Yujiro is thinking that I'm better.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason.
Should I take
The
this
only
one?
reason Aaron hands out there. That would be that's why he decides to rush in and say he's going to find out for himself. Our boy dodges the first move. Now Yujiro is giving her kicks. He says he practiced, but Zed told him really good. Our boy is dodging the press, but the guy actually listened instead of practice. But then suddenly, he looks at the way the guy is finishing himself, and bam, he moves to the side of the head. And Yujiro will also let the smoke coming out his water. And out of nowhere, he starts smiling. Says the loser who doesn't have the dinner. Finally, after her eyes conversation,
That's the shit.
People in the crowd say that weirdly. Any time. But Zed only knew what it was. An item that gave 90% damage, which is just absurd in a fight like this. Normally, if you beat someone, but in that case, who's over in the corner? I understand what happened. Why this guy is resisting Zed's attack so easily. He tells him to be careful. Clearly, that woman gets him. But Zed's smiling. He tells Ryu just to watch and pay attention. His friend doesn't get it. Why the heck is he smiling like that? Meanwhile, he passes people to give up. Suddenly, that lets his shoulders drop as Zed is actually smiling. Yujiro immediately notices. He works out his stand and change. He's going to ask Zed something, but he just got smashed on the side of the head. Even with 90% resistance, it was one purple and turning the body. Kick to the stomach. He starts stumbling backwards. How did he take a real damage? Not big, it's just like 100%. They never see that man with the hospital. They have given that already. After that, but here was a guy standing in front of him, taking all those kicks, still. That was the first time he seen something like that. And instantly, he wanted to do some more, to see what it felt like again. Yujiro throws his arms up. And the signs of this, guard runs.
Oh shit. Oh, fudge nugget. I knew that was gonna happen. I got tag teamed.
Right then, the protagonist asks him why he's not getting back up. Man Yujiro is about to apologize again and say he forfeits, but gets another shot right to the face. Ted is not letting him say the word forfeit. That wasn't nearly enough yet. But just then, Yujiro sees something strange. Ted's contact lens was breaking apart. He could see the red eye underneath. The guy was about to say the name Arahan, but passed out cold, falling backward. Suddenly, the protagonist feels something strange in his chest, like some kind of alien energy coursing through his body. He decides to open up the system window, and then, just like he guessed, finally his mana had gone from 0 to 1. It might not be much, but to him, the feeling was way better than expected. Because yeah, man, he's got excellent Archmage talent, so that makes a huge difference. But then he notices, strangely, the whole place had gone silent. Ryu comes running and asks why he took the lenses out. Zed bro, he just points to himself. Everyone seemed to have it. Ryu says, obviously, that was the best. The guy would be better than and everyone recognized instantly shouted A-I-H-A. Nobody had it out. But just above running bro, shouting at people at sea. My God, what the heck is this family doing this world, man? Just seeing the eye color was enough to make everyone bolt. Not even Itachi, the man who could share with all that much fear, bro. Right then, Zed ran off too, saying that soon the guards were going to show up, so they better disappear quick. Meanwhile, Miss Fatlands goes free, saying she never should listen to that damn guy from the prison. She gets up, saying that now she's going to be really net out of herself. Obviously, she's furious because she lost her fortune because that guy she hired, right man, wasn't cheap. Not to mention that belt cost over 200 gold coins was destroyed. At that moment, she knows that Dan Rat already knew he was around 2,000. She's screaming weird because her head is clear. She shouldn't listen to that guy and killed that brat from the start. Meanwhile, no one else readers are already getting ready to leave that place. The problem is that now they're without a sometime later, out of the barrel has to tell the boy to stay there and still perish. But right now, he's out of the order stopped and said that they were sick. She has some information that Ryu was looking for, and she will talk to him. Decided to get better.
Thank you, G's God.
Fred thinks it's crazy, but Zed says that they can take care of this now and probably follow them for the rest of their lives. Just like he imagined before was murder. Even after it's like once that shit's
Dead.
all of them, he's not going to lose. One guaranteed that something dirty like those
I thought he was dead.
I just laughed but Sid said that he was not his choice would change. Besides, he wasn't playing with God.
I'm playing squad.
Smith draws his sword and says, yes,
Right.
Against someone stronger, only food against someone weaker because two carries either. That person also then Clark starts moving then he charges forward. The protagonist just walks exactly. Actually, someone's going to out of nowhere, the balloons flying and blowing. What's happening here, man? They activated the Born Thunder transformation. Get 10% of sound. We got boy immediately charges in, clutches surprise, and has to defend against the flying kick. Man, he's already a beast in hand-to-hand combat. Now he's gonna beat people down with magic. The fool is pushed back and keeps wondering how this is even possible. You can't believe a brat like that could have led his cat. Unlike the basic elements, almost no one had resistance to lightning. But this was an element that not even the founder of the Airhand clan was supposed to have. So why did this discarded brat have that power? The guards and that fool Perna are all standing there with their jaws on the floor. Ryu off to the side isn't even impressed anymore. Clark, though, stomps the ground firmly, thinking this is what he hates the most, people who have everything handed to them just because of their bloodline. He slashes towards Zed, saying he hates people like him, but our boy just does a Matrix-style dodge backwards. Man. Clark insists, sending a cross slash, but our boy dodges one, dodges another, and starts getting closer. Clark, however, had managed to slash for the side of his head and ensure the kid would dodge this one. But his sword seemed to collide with some kind of electric barrier. The kid kind of had a natural shield, and now he was right next to him, landing a solid hit in the ribs, and damn, that frame is beautiful. Take that in the chest, fool. While he's riding in the electricity, man, the Korean moon is going wild. The purple explosion hits, and the guy's back. Yeah, he's something. The problem is, man, the guy was already the king of dodging, and now he's all electrified. Dodges another strike that comes from the side, and on the chin. Clark can't understand why this kid is fighting like this. He's supposed to be a mage. Obviously, mages use barriers and stay at a distance to cast spells. And that's why when the knight gets close, they're always defeated. That was kind of the law of this world, and the law of that's why this kid's concept made no sense. More lightning flying around and stop trying to hold the opponent. It's the first time he had seen a move with this stuff, and he had no strategy. He decided to change plans and back off to use those long-range sword slashes. But instead, it goes faster and the second, it's face-to-face again, landing another punch right in the face. Clark couldn't see any openings and takes another one in the gut. Man, now he got launched all the way to the other side, crashing into a tree. The poor guy's spitting out like 3 liters of blood while the soldier beside him asks if he's okay. One thing's clear, he's a man of honor, man, because even if the others trying to help, he says nobody should get involved. Then he turns to the boy and says that really, he lost an errand. At the very least, he should be killed now. But Zed asks if the guy wants to know why he lost. Clark says no, he's killing already and stopped doing it. But Zed doesn't care if he simply going to tell him anyway. He says the only reason he lost was because Zed's been training way more and stimulating him. Obviously, it's a tough huge spot and says it's ironic. Someone with a bloodline that is talking about effort and training. The strength he has is simply because he was born with carrying blood. He really has no idea what true effort looks like. Effort for someone with no talent at all. But Zed responds that he should have been stronger than him at that age. If he'd have fought better and trained to become even stronger, he shouldn't have lost now. But he's blinded by his superior price. Besides, Knight should never blame another person for their defeat. Clark is silent and says that yes, while thinking he never imagined that a kid like this would remind him of the true color of Knight. Then he tells Aaron had just ended already to kill him. The problem is, Zed knows that if he kills this guy, someone known as the Five Circle Knight, he's going to start walk around out there talking about it. At that moment, he counts his talent, lightning talent, something very and everyone in the force screams asking him to do it. Turn up orders the dog, surrounded by everyone. Zed thinks this number of people is an idea. But suddenly, he looks back and a strange mist starts approaching. The whole place is covered by this energy, trying to figure out whether it's age versus approaching. Suddenly, this is a bit. But in the next second, the sky and everyone's punches to death, and he is so earnest. No one certain parts that the bodies are fully scratched up cuts and spots still. Then Zed remembers to do all often is bent over, he shows up in the picture of the arm. He's trying to catch the screws into the picture. There must be some tyrant in those nearby. Whatever it is, it's best to leave as fast as possible. And Ryu sees a car among the bodies and helps to check it out. It was way too clean and looked like it was delivered from there. The two of them are leaving while someone watches them from up in a tree. Nothing suspicious about this sort of guy, right? If I had to guess, actually, Eric Henry's watching this prison. But now sees the boy as the real deal, thinking he's better protect his kid. Future. And you guys, what do you think? What's your bet? Do you think this guy is awesome? Sometime later, forest made a little campfire, and they're looking at the sheet of paper, which is blank. So flip, and a symbol appears. But the magic card is actually used by secret organizations that try to destroy the Yes, recognizing the symbol, that's what black is. It's getting absolutely good. Eric helps them with secret missions. When it comes to secret organizations, they're the biggest in the Empire. And on the back of the letter, you can see the number 4. If you're not mistaken, number 1 means accept or basically confirm. Number 2 is reject. Number 3 is a proposal. And number 4 is observation and protection. Yeah, and I guess it didn't last long. That's sort of fun, right? That was right away. Looks like he really is being protected by someone who's arrogant. You find it strange since it fears he doesn't have information. That man now he does has free speaking. Considering he went up by 2 after being Barky, how it works like experience in the game. Plus, Henry's unlocked the liking for it. Something that not only boosts his physical abilities, but also creates a shield. Obviously, though, he only has mana that activates that challenger talent. Then Ryu calls out to our boy and says, hey, wants to know where they're going, what they're going to do. Our boy says that's obvious. They're going to the city of Hilda. That's the last place they heard about his brother. All they have to do is keep moving. Ryu, though, says maybe his brother isn't even there anymore. Besides, he can even get to Full without using carriage. Zed says he already knows that, but the route is going to be a little different. First up, Ashley's command. That village is the front line of the southern defense barrier. At that moment, a magic circle appears on the ground and a knight shows up through it. Whoa, man, isn't that blonde knight the character our boy used to play as when he beat the Demon King? Along with him, an army starts appearing, and he swears that he, towards Bahal, is going to take the Arahans to disgrace the name of that place. You didn't see him a bit earlier, kneeling down and asking if someone called him. He's face to face with the Lord, who says that a mission came specifically for the boy. The Arahan, who was in a southern prison, had escaped a few days ago. Not only did he kill the guards, but also other innocent people in the city. And he, as the successor of Bahal, must bring justice and punishment to the family. The blonde guy immediately takes an oath and orders will be obeyed. Meanwhile, really? You saying this is right. Then just tells him to stop running and saying 5 days to talk. Prince is complaining about it as the only idiot going straight to the front of the justice. And the Empire's match you can see that one of the places where the North East here. On top of that, since it's an advanced phase, there's a teleportation portal there. Obviously, it's something so expensive that not even buildings can use it easily. But our boy got a ton of money for betting and looting everything for free. Still, Drew keeps complaining and saying he has no idea how to find these time passes as night falls once warm. He was chatting a bit when Zed suddenly felt a strange vibration. The whole ground was shaking. In a low voice, he stood up and told Drew to get ready. Something was coming. Right away, they put out the campfire. Very rare, which means man is exactly what he sees. First of all, the army were arriving. The guys were at least just passing by, and he was just telling them those 50-plus soldiers wouldn't spot them. But that's when one of the soldiers obviously Zed knows that if they're found, they can't no chance. And then the requirements to evacuation five slip on this. In other words, there's at least 50 parts there. Ryu says our boy should run. He gets captured with a chance. But Zed will definitely be killed. Our boy knows told him to stop shaking so much he said say something like that. Decided to get his word. He had an idea that maybe it would work. Soldiers are all going to check on him. And suddenly, what should really? Agent 54 will really gonna rely on that protection card. He steps out saying he's dead. He's doing this insane move because he knows that once the guys realize the camp is still warm, they'll start searching the entire area. They won't be able to delay, and they will found suddenly, it will be worse. But right into his state, across the leader, man, sword almost cleanses his neck. He tries to explain that he just wants to talk first, but there's already another one in his back man. He senses the presence and goes to activate the place. But one of the guys was absent, so he did something. Between him and Zed, there was nothing, but it got blocked. Our boy understands that it was the power, maybe of the person who's been protecting him. And a voice tells the knight to stand down. The guy backs off instantly, and the rest of the soldiers order the person to reveal himself. And then he was something watching him, but he didn't expect that whoever it was, he was ready for it. Couldn't even feel their presence, and he did with 100 perception. Well, man, and not just one person, but it was right? I was wondering why everyone everyone celebrates the arrival of that presence was so familiar with itself, part of him. The character who had studied the longest. one who stayed with him until the end. It wasn't the time to be thinking about he is a dead Arrowhead. Before Zed can answer, the guy just steps in front and tells him not to speak. Now Zed is trying to understand why these guys are going this far. Thor is then just trying to Aaron stands across the line. He throws his sword into the air, saying that today is a big fight for their heads. Suddenly, the voice says that's not going to happen. A red circle appears beneath all the soldiers, which means this guy was not only smart enough to get everything else, but also studied circle waves. And the guy says that anyone who steps out of the circle will cause an explosion. Standing still, Thor wants to know very which the finishing better for them to back off and try to warn about their but that's a huge power against and however, when you start trying to start the game, otherwise, he doesn't have to see everyone's body lying on the ground. Our boy has to really deactivate the magic circle before they all explode. But the hooded man turns and says they only follow the Lord's orders. And one command he received was to protect Zed Arrowhead, and he can't do anything but go against that. Zed then asks why, instead of protecting him, the guy is trying to kill the house successor, which will only increase his chances of getting killed in the future. If he made such a skill assassin, he would be the house to stop you have to pay the price for every crime committed. They're trying to explain that it's a misunderstanding. Then notices the circle will explode. So these things the guys will get killed right away. But then an explosion sweeps through the area and really calls out to death. Thor's sword has been blocked by a barrier that is skipped out of the guys. Even just the block and the sword shockwave. Torres dropped his knees and coughed up blood. Zed damned him, he would walk over and asks the guys, now he's on his knees, to wait for the position. The Torres just took the collapses to his dead. The soldiers run over saying he's dead, but I will explain it's just a man of backlash. It's best to let him recover naturally and not even try anything. The healers are already trying to heal him. Use it, you know. Note this is man of backlash. You can't feel someone's backlash if you're weaker than them. Obviously, only one stronger than him was the Black Mirror guy. But I'm not of the guy for him. Obviously, this time, he asks if Zed is seriously telling him to kill this night. Zed says that Torres is a friend of his, and he found alive and kind of suspicious. Obviously, that was too confusing. He wants to know if that is a chance to death, and if Arrowhead really could do a large-scale war, and if that would be productive. The manufacturers require that that is separate and completely done. You know, it seems sure. Oh, you know, that in the future is a good. Don't sweat. Oh, Constellation. Made it. Let me win. Combination. No one stands there. You took the sword to his own neck saying that if the guy doesn't heal Torres, I'm trying to. Which means, right, that that's a man that is sufficient. It's Forrest is so much stronger. He then accept the help provided by their friend. With that, Forrest is finally healed from soldier and gets a bit teary-eyed. At that exact moment, the last ray of guys vanish as always leave behind a light. Sometime later, in the village of Atlanta, our boy is taking his puzzle for time. That one man is private. He loves Saddam. Lost to that mix in the solicit for his happiness, also its last word. Not to look so yet. Now that it's over, let them know to some spirit. You are the very best reputation. We reply that everyone knows, common knowledge, even with take any count about them. They can't believe that secretly but we want to everyone watching them. That, however, has nothing to worry. That's the follow the approach. Another way, major numbers of men, kill a friend, two days, both sides, two days, and sides. But that's not feeling easy. Tonight, all you need is to challenge yourself hard. And they all you need is to offer them profit. And one of them shows up into the Lord's air inside a tent sometime later, always talking about war. Starts by talking about his team, what we're going to see there. Forrest gets straight to the point and asks about their situation. Then replies, it's not very formal, wants to talk casually. Wants to know. Chill. Forrest asks how old he is. The boy says, 5 years. Why does he want to be in a relationship with the world? He's still a part of the the point replies that he that's dead, that's sick. Our goal never is that like today, through the night, God keeps you working hard. God is too happy to live for someone to see. If there's someone who knows totally well what to do, we're all complete 10 years before us. But every guy sends out a small topic. He wants to know that the murder is what he said. Zed says that's fine and starts to explain everything that happened. Sometime later, Forrest says that what Zed said is true, and trying to defend himself even if it's justifiable. The whole thing is that he's particularly interested but Zed replies that he would just let Forrest die. That means it's easier than out there. Strangely, Forrest said that honestly that I was a solid bro. I accept it. That's it. The guy gave up on arguing. Then he puts a sock on the table and says that it's a gift and some kind of policy. That, however, implies that he's trying to apologize for the guy the wrong way. What he really wants is help find his new younger brother. Torres says that doesn't make sense, and that wouldn't benefit him as a mage. But Zed just replies that he doesn't care about that. It's a promise he made to his friend. The next morning, Mr. Badass again, every day, right, he was doing a bunch of push-ups and fellas. Then I got inspired by this guy, and Ryu's all confused, wanting to know why he asked that favor when he could have gotten something much better for himself. Meanwhile, Tudo is just off to the side with everything, watching us waiting. You know this guy is a little, fellas? I don't know. The only woman in the story was her, and she already died. They really got to introduce some new ones. But this is getting strange. And oddly, he really is staring at our boys' calves, thinking like a mage without mana, and normally mages say physical abilities but this one looks hard. Maybe even a mage without mana, like a knight without a sword. What in fact they were doing so before they give up and trying to improve? It makes you wonder. That the still felt finally some friendship, but this was getting weird. Sometime later, he went to get himself a big old steak to eat. Obviously, the boss boys came all friendly about boys. And he walked and went up and did. He got over Ryu, on the other hand, is a bit short, asking if he's really short. Our boys could really look at him. They started eating, and Zed knows nothing in this world is free. For them to be served something that expensive, they definitely want something in return. Suddenly, though, one of the men stands up, saying that, unfortunately, this situation makes it uncomfortable to leaving. The other guys say the same, and everyone stands up and says their daughter. In just a second, it's only the 3 of them left on the table. Torres apologizes, and Zed says it's all good. Decides whether not to fight the guy. If Zed says that's expected, those guys have seen mages as enemies since they were kids. Obviously, one just the ground is sharing. Torres says maybe he was wrong to But at that moment, Zed says he must have something to tell Forrest to say, right? He called him his kiss. Forrest explained that the plan was too, that he wanted to relate the party that he wants to show everyone that Zed is honorable with him. And what there is there. Zed has to do with him with that, he says yes. And time later, there's a sudden border in the wall. Teacher is stuck. And so, Forrest praises everyone's work and helping to do this. Yet, however, they're in the middle of everything. Trying to understand why he thought with all this. He knows that that's why I think people shouldn't either celebrate the fact or something. Ned thinks that Forrest's plan is to participate in this right? Maybe it's an emotional decision, but it fits a 17-year-old kid. And they continue to the creator is huge, and Torres attitude. Anyone knows what caused it, the guy doesn't think that this beast that hasn't catalyzed yet. By protocol, they should retreat now and record it in the books.
Good try,
But
good
Torres
try.
says that would be overkill. They're not even in danger zone yet, so even if it's a new creature, it should be low level. The others say that even if it's low level, it could still be dangerous when it's something unknown. Torres is thinking about going back to the dead point that he knew for the creature was a monster called the Basilisk. A mid-level creature from 25 circle length and 6 circles would be hard. Torres asks if he's not lying, while all the soldiers start saying they can't let the mage. He said something with fire that should be direct to me, that's why that's due to the residents. The guys always think they're being insulted and start complaining about the kid. Zed 5 that they're the ones underestimated. First off, they shouldn't even have the nerve to speak that rudely to an arrogant man. Suddenly, Boris interrupts the conversation and tells everyone to be quiet. He goes to apologize to Zed, saying he hopes things will get better. And suddenly, the Basilisk appears behind everyone.
Yeah, I should have actually give me two. Shit was good.
They already have to dodge the first attack. He asks if Zed is okay, who tells him to pay attention to the fight man. He nearly got chomped by another monster. That's when they realize it's not one Basilisk, but two. And Taurus is already activating his weapon. And now that I notice it, doesn't he kind of look like Vlad from Stellar Swordsman? Like a Vlad from another world, and all the knights are going to charging to the ground. Strangely, in this world, mages fight up close while the knights are the ones sending out those aura slashes. The problem is, those aura slash explosions are doing nothing to the Basilisk. And even Vlad is confused because the attacks aren't working. Suddenly, the creature lifts up a tail full of spikes, and Zed yells for everyone to get down. Nobody obeys, and Torres shouts at them to follow orders. That's when the guys throw themselves flat to the ground. But Zed notices one guy being stubborn, saying he won't take orders from a mage. Our boy yells again, but too late. The monster fires off a bunch of poisonous spikes. Those who were down didn't get killed, but the fool who stayed standing, obviously got hit. Was saved by Zed, right? Of course he had to be saved by the mage kid, dumbass. But our boy already warns them that on the next attack, the monster is going to aim at the ground, so that trick won't work twice. And he tells Taurus that he'll use the knights to deal with the one on the left. In other words, the badass is going to handle the one on the right. Taurus is a bit confused, but Zed just tells him to answer already, yes or no. So the one, he says fine. They'll kill the one on the left, and he'll take care of the one on the right. Our boy smiles and says he's counting on them. With that, the night squad jumps away, leaving our boy face to face with the other basilisk. Now that he's alone with the monster, the Challenger talent activates. With 10 more mana, he's able to activate the Lightning talent. He calls out to the monster, telling it to look over here. Charges toward the creature, which roars in his direction. But Zed, of course, is smiling. He loves risking his life. They said he's lucky to have found something like that. The monster tries to attack, but he dodges by jumping from one tree trunk to another and comes down from above again. The creature might look tough, but he knows where its weak point is. It's not about piercing. It's about striking it on top of the head. With that, the monster is all twisted and trembling, then collapses to the ground. Man, the beast is already dead. I thought the thing would be more trouble, honestly. On top of that, he gets an ingredient from its mouth.
I think I'm gonna get off, everybody.
It's a key ingredient that you can put into holy water.
I'm getting tired. I'm just gonna chill.
The boy's all in his swag mode, lightning crackling and little energy orbs
First little bit and then go to
The elixir
bed.
is a perfect item since it has a small chance of boosting some of your stats. And since he already has
And go to bed, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed. I appreciate the people that have watched. You guys have a good night. And I'll be back probably tomorrow.
Check out these deals of the week at Walgreens.
Possibly tomorrow. Actually, yeah, probably tomorrow. Possibly.
stats max, well, it's a 100% chance to increase mana.
Cheese God, you
Then
still
he
there?
waves goodbye to the monster, saying he's off to help the Knights. Torres was defending himself from an attack but was sent flying. Even so,
She's
he was still
God.
managing to hold out. The problem now is that he's been
She's
separated from the Knights and
God.
doesn't have any defensive support. Right then, he sees the fireworks shoot into the sky.
She's still
Bam! It hits
there.
the monster square in the head again. Obviously, it was Zed asking if he's okay. Seeing the boy all
She
electrified, Torres
dipped.
wants to know what kind of energy that is.
You
The
dipped,
Knights
Cheese
all
God?
arrive
You still there,
shocked,
Cheese
asking
God?
what that is. Of course, they recognize it instantly, right, fellas? It could only be the Tan Killua. Torres asks if he's really using Lightning Ki, and Zed says that's obvious, which leaves the guy even more confused, since as far as he knows, the boy has no mana. The protagonist explains that he acquired mana a little while ago, which makes the fool even more confused. That's because in this world, you're kind of born with mana already formed man. A baby might not have all the circles connected.
Okay, I was just making sure because I didn't want to get off and then you're not there I mean, I didn't want to get off and then you're there and yeah. But have a good night. I'm getting off. I'm tired.
While Torres is deep in thought, Zed asks if he can keep the item. Torres says yes. He's the one who killed the creature, so he gets to
It's
keep it. Our boy
150.
all smiles. Getting those two
Oh,
items
it's not
really was a
150.
stroke of luck.
It's
Sometime later, the Knights
1:39
are all
here
talking about how Zed killed the creatures.
in the morning.
First off, it made no sense. A kid with no mana using lightning.
It's early in the morning.
Physically instead of using magic.
Early in the morning.
That's all anyone was talking about.
In the morning.
Zed says it's fine, asks if he's hurt. The guy says thanks to him, he's not. Ryu immediately wants to know what our boy did, suddenly getting treated with respect like that. To which our boy just says, whatever. At least now they're going to help even more in finding his brother. At that moment, Tori calls out to the two of them. He already compliments our boy, saying he really managed to change the Knight's opinions.
That should be live later on, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
He's sure the family head is going to go nuts when he finds out everything that happened there. Zed asks if he's not afraid of getting chewed out for getting close to an Arrowhand. Torres
We
says
will
he's already
see.
bracing for that anyway. He always knew it would happen sooner or later.
Probably will be live later. I don't got nothing to do.
Help look for his brother. Strangely, from that low camera angle on Ryu, the two look kind of like villains. But they're talking about how. Now that there's a noble pair from this region looking for his brother, the odds of finding him are much higher. Ryu gets all emotional and thanks them both. The next day, they're in Frinda, a region in the south where the trade port is located. Finally, Ryu reveals his name. The person he's looking for is a girl named Lisa, 13 years old. She has long blonde hair that goes down to her waist. He roughly shows what her height is and says they'll be able to tell because she's adorable. Nothing dangerous at all about a girl like that walking around the world alone. Zed says that Lisa
Okay, appreciate you.
slaves that were sold and those that are still up for sale. Basically, all the houses that deal in that kind of business. The knight just agrees, and then our boy tells Hulk that they'll first talk to the merchant he used to work for. Sometime
Appreciate you a lot.
at the entrance of a place guarded by some guy. Zed tells Ryu he won't be able to go in, and meanwhile, he's already dressed up in a fancy suit. Obviously, he's going in as someone interested in buying a slave. Right away, the guy at the door, trying to act tough, is bowing, saying it's amazing to receive someone as distinguished.
Have a good night. I'm getting off. I don't know why I'm just sitting
He
here.
asks if the boy is looking for something specific, and Zed says he wants to know if this is Hamill's trading firm.
Yeah.
The guy says he
So
might be mistaken.
I'm gonna end it here.
Suddenly, he stands up and says that apparently the boy isn't as noble, and that it's better for a kid like him to just leave.
Me too. Appreciate you. I seen you haven't posted in a while.
True noble refers to slaves as if they were products. In other words, the fact that Zed asked if it was a trading
I
firm
liked your
makes
recent
sense.
post.
Zed tells him to stop being stupid, but the guy says he must have been sent by DeVio. Once again, our boy curses him out, and the guy tries to throw a punch. And 10 seconds later, there he is, all wrecked, getting slapped in the face with Zed telling him the answer already. Turns out that the original Hamill's trading firm disappeared, and these guys took over, and Zed wants to know why. The guy explains that the previous owner went bankrupt, so they kind of just took over the place. Zed wants to know who this DeVito guy is, and
Oh, okay.
he's the biggest
Nah, I feel you with
trader
that.
in the entire southern region.
Nah, I feel you with that.
He wants to know
Same here with my
the
PC.
guy asks if he means the products, implying that
Try to
slaves
set
are
my
nothing
PC
more
up.
than items. It's another slap to the face. Zed tells him to
But
say
yeah,
that
have a
again,
good night.
and bam,
Keep the
another
good work
slap to
up,
another.
and
Then he tells him
keep
it's about time
posting
he
and
learns
stuff.
that people aren't products. Even if he's trash, he should at least try to live with a minimum of decency.
Even if it's like a small clip,
Sometime
just
later,
post
he's
it.
pulling back the curtains.
Post
Behind the
something
bars,
random.
there's a bunch of worn-down
Someone will
people
watch it.
chained up and imprisoned. Zed asks if there's anyone else, and the guy says no. That's everyone. Zed finds it strange. There's no blonde girl, no
Even
kids,
if it's
nothing
just
else
something random and funny.
that's to be expected, right? Children are usually the most expensive slaves
Random
out there.
and funny at the
Most
same
likely, a
time.
girl like the one Ryu described would have already been sold a while ago. He turns to the guy and says that today he's lucky. he's going to get a chance to become a decent person. All he has to do is bring all the money from this place and the prison keys. Next scene, the fool is behind bars, and our boy tells him it's his turn to experience that life. Outside, the former slaves are all thanking him for his kindness. Looks like he took all the money from the slave traders and distributed it among the freed people so they could restart their lives.
No problem, man. And you have a good night too.
Opportunity to sit and talk with some of them to hear
See you next stream.
stories and gather information about this world. A white-haired guy introduces himself as Gordon and says he used to be an assistant to the Trigger family. Zed replies that if he worked for those people and didn't get killed, he's already lucky. To which Gordon says yes. At that time, the heavens must have been on his side. When it comes to blacksmithing, the Trigger family is the most powerful. In times of crisis and war,